if we go to the next section, which is the threefold nature of abandonment, then Bhagavan says, obligatory actions, renunciation of those actions which we are obliged to do is not proper. We have to keep on doing our obligatory actions. The abandonment of these is declared to be Tamasic. In other words, we don't do the things which we are obliged to do, living in this world in a rational manner. And if we don't do that, then we are overcome by this delusion and you say, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. The Tamasic person is always using this kind of language. I don't care and I don't wish to care. I don't want to do this thing and I'm not going to do it. Tamasic and dull. Now, the Rajasic is which one? Fear of bodily trouble, abandons action because of pain. Pain in the body, pain in the mind, pain in the intellect. And because this particular action, this obligatory action, if I'm going to give it up because there is some kind of distress which I'm going to experience, then this is called the Rajasic way of functioning, and there is no fruit, purification of abandonment, which comes as a result of this abandonment. Because why? Because we are still attached. See, the attachment is still there, and therefore we are not going to get the fruit of this abandonment. Why? Because it's Rajasic abandonment. It's not going to give any result. Whatever obligatory action is done merely because it ought to be done. What does it mean ought to be done? Because it's dharma. Abandoning attachment and also the fruit, that abandonment is regarded as Sattvic, pure. So Bhagavan is now giving us the idea about what is it to say that this abandonment or this tyaga is tamasic, rajasic, or sattvic. And if you understand it, that I'm giving this up because I'm feeling distressed, then that's the wrong attitude. I'm not doing this because I don't know why, because it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not going to do it. And even out of ignorance, not doing it is again a tamasic way. What we need to do is to do the things which ought to be done and giving up the fruit of the action. So here's the summary of that. Sattvic abandonment ought to be done without attachment. Rajasic abandonment, fear of bodily issues, pain. Tamasic abandonment through delusion. Here we are talking about tyaga. And then the threefold nature of abandonment, Bhagavan goes further to say, the abandoner soaked in purity, the tyagi, soaked in purity, being intelligent, and all his doubts cut asunder, hates not disagreeable action. So what do we require? Purity, intelligence, no doubts, no confusions, and there is no hatred for any action, even if it's disagreeable. Nor is he attached to an agreeable action. In other words, there is this equanimity between the likes and the dislikes. I don't like doing this, I'm not going to do it. I like doing this, I'm going to do it. That has disappeared. And he is doing the things which ought to be done. In this case, he says, verily it is not possible for embodied being to abandon actions entirely. Nobody can give up actions entirely, but he who relinquishes the fruit of actions is verily called a relinquisher. This is the tyagi. Tyagi is giving up the fruits of the action. Because in this embodied form, as this jiva, it's going to be very hard to give up actions altogether. Why? Because there's this sense of identity which is still remaining. But in the case of the tyagi, he at least has given up all the fruits of the actions. The threefold fruit of action, evil, good, mixed, accrues after death only to those who have no spirit of abandonment, tyaga, never to the total tyagis. In other words, what he's saying is that if there is this spirit of abandonment, then this evil and good and mixed results which come after death, the result of our action, in other words, the karmic consequences of our actions can only be there if there is the me and the mind. As the me and the mind disappears, the purification takes place. Then the consequences of karma begins to get stopped. First thing is to stop more karmas from developing. First thing is to make more vasanas to be generated and to be strengthened. And this is what we call the process of purification again. And if that is gone, if we have totally given up the fruit of the action as well as the me, the identification with the body, mind, intellect, then we will be now not having any karma or vasana developing further. In fact, they get totally sattvified, and in the process, we will be able to sit in dhyana and transcend into that which is the eternal.